Hey guys! Yes, I know I've been away on screen for a while, and a whole lot of things happened, and I just kept doing some styling stuff just to make the channel active. But guys, the truth of the matter is I was robbed.
Hello, my name is Shatang and welcome to My Spice.
I think the last post I made was in January this year, and I entered one chance. Just like the name implies, one chance. There was just one chance. There was just one person left to fill up that taxi, and unfortunately for me, I entered. I boarded the cab. Okay.
A quick replay.
I stepped out of the house, and then the security guy was like, madam, your torchlight they on. I was like, oh, my torchlight. I turned it off. I headed out, and then I got to the junction of my house, took a keke, and then got to the east-west road. First thing, there's usually traffic at that particular spot, so you just have to wait for the traffic wards to regulate and navigate people, and then you have access to cross over, which I did. When I crossed over the first lane, heading to the next lane, there was this taxi parked, and he kept shouting, "Choba, choba, choba." And something deep down told me, no, Oga, go. So I even did the driver like, go. Apparently this man did not go. The cab was still parked there. So when I crossed over, there was no other vehicle aside that, so I had to enter, and I was like, Oga, choba. He said, yes, enter. Say, I get 1,000. He said, enter. Apparently there were 3 persons sitting at the back, 2 elderly women and a guy. The other woman was even holding a basket or a tray as though she was going to the market. The other woman was holding one big sack bag. One thing I always do is to look out for the faces of these people, because I understand that one chance is like common in PH. So I had to check out, and then there was this man sitting at the front, all dressed up in suits, and I was like, oh, it's morning, everyone is rushing to work, so this was about 7:35. So I boarded the taxi. When I did, I immediately entered the taxi and slammed the door. The man sitting next to me shouted, yeah, sister, you don't lock my hand, and I had to turn, and I was like, how? So apparently I saw the man's hand around, and because he was shouting, I was almost confused, like, how the hell did this man get his hands across and locked up? So I kept struggling to open the door. So while I was trying to open the door wasn't opening, so I had to stop at some point. I was like, driver, you have to come and open this door, I can't open the door. And the driver was like, try open now, open from outside. I dipped my hand outside, tried to open the door was not opening. It didn't dawn on me it was one chance. Yes. So I struggled with the door, struggled, the door wasn't opening. The women at the back were shouting, you don't lock the man hand, you don't lock her, open now, sister, why you wicked like this, open the door. There were a whole lot of distraction. Apparently while all of this was going on, someone had already even snatched my bag from my hands, removed my phone. I didn't even realize that. A lot of people say things that this whole one chance thing is a thing of is jazz, but I don't think it is jazz. It's just playing with the regular human psychology. The psychology is this: someone is in distress, right? And you're definitely confused, so it means that you're playing on this person's psychology. In as much as there's someone in distress, you're not going to pay attention to what matters. What matters is the safety of that person, and I feel like that was what they played on me. I was being all sentimental and all. Immediately they were done picking up whatever they wanted, the door opened. All of a sudden, the same door that was refusing to open, the door opened. So when the door opened, the man started shouting, "Sister, you don't lock my hand. Driver, abeg, make she calm down. Make she calm down. I go pay for the remaining one chance. Make she calm down." And I was literally telling this man, "I'm sorry, sir." And all of that didn't matter. I tell you, none of that mattered. So I got off the taxi. The driver said I should get out, that he's going to pay for the remaining chance, as if it was my fault that the man put his hand there. Guys, the truth of the matter is that this man's hand was never even stuck on the door. Apparently what he did, but because of the tension, the shout and everything that was going on in the taxi, you know, I didn't realize that his hand was, it was even later. I had to play back everything that happened, and then I realized what this man did was, it was not the hand being stuck, you know, locked, but this was him using his hand to hold the door, preventing me from opening the door. So I got off the vehicle, I entered another taxi, and one thing I always do, the moment I get comfortable in a taxi, I can bring out my phone, try to reply messages, and then I take it back into my bag. So immediately I entered the next taxi, I opened my bag, my phone was nowhere to be found. What the fuck? And then I looked in front, these guys were moving. That was how the taxi man was like, "No be that motor you come down for." I was like, "Yes, so my phone is gone." The man was like, "Now one chance you enter." "Oh yeah, move, chase them, I see the motor." We started chasing. We got to this flyover, and this guys diverted towards the airport way. I could not risk my life chasing somebody to that lonely road before they will use me to do what I don't know. So I told the taxi man, "Let's just go, drop me off at work." So apparently while I was discussing this whole thing, there were other people who had the same encounter, and you know, it was more as if this was the new strategy that these guys were using to, you know, get things from people. Apparently there was a woman whose cash was taken from her, and it was still the same strategy. She entered the taxi, shut the door, and someone was shouting, "Hey, you've locked my hands." And before she could try to open the door, 3 other persons, you know, narrated the same ordeal as mine. And then, you know, I had to be like, people need to be really careful out there. And immediately I went to the bank block, because my ATM was tucked behind the phone pouch. So I think like another lesson we need to learn from this is the fact that, you know, those of us that are fond of, you know, putting our ATM card behind our pouch, please, let's try as much as possible. In fact, since that event, I feel like my phone doesn't even move with a pouch anymore. I just go bare like this. But it's not advisable. Still get your pouch, but make sure that you don't, you know, put your ATM card, because if this person goes with your card and goes with your phone, you know what can happen to your account here. So I rushed to the bank, blocked my card, went to the MTN office, retrieved my SIM card, and then I started using this. With this experience I had, it has really been traumatizing. I tell you, I find it difficult like entering taxis because I keep having that feeling as though, you know, I'm just going to enter a taxi and someone is just, you know. So I've been really traumatized. You know, each time I head out for work, I try to be really careful. In fact, most of the time I try to enter a taxi where I'm like the first person entering. So any vehicle I see that have 3 persons behind and there's just the seat at the front, I avoid. Another precaution that I've tried also to do is to make sure that each time I try to, you know, go home, I don't stand on the road entering the regular taxis. I try to go to the park so that you know, I'll be sure that, you know, the taxi I'm entering is a registered taxi and the rest. Even though this is Nigeria, a whole lot of things can happen, but if you are able to put in very little, you know, the slightest effort towards ensuring your safety, it's really cool. I feel like there are other things, little things I still do for myself just for safety. I think one of them is also making sure that whatever taxi I'm entering, I try to avoid entering the rickety taxis. You know, those ones that the front of the car is looking, or the back of the car is looking or you just look at it and the vehicle is looking like a vehicle that might not even be stable on the road. If I get to the park and I see such vehicle, and I'll wait. I'll tell you I'll wait. So right now I feel like at the park they know me. They'll say, she know the entire motorway no clean, oh. Because I feel like, you know, I there was a time I entered a vehicle and it kept, you know, dragging, and was like, this vehicle just got stuck in front of a trailer. Come on. All because it wasn't really in good shape. So, you know, just try as much as possible, put in the little effort that you can. Let it be that you have put in your own 1 cent, and you know, God blesses you. So I'm grateful to God I was not kidnapped. It was just the phone. So thanksgiving to God. And I learned something, definitely I did, and I want to believe that you also learned something from my experience too. Till I come your way next week, do take care of yourself, and I love you all. Ciao.